So tell us about this house. This is a 1961. This is a Dennis Smith.
Dennis
right?
Smith.
Your
right?
name's on the plans. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
that's right. That's right. I was taking my state board exams. You know, you go to classes and you take various sections, and I was in that process, but I wasn't licensed at the time. And it was really the first thing that really I ever drew that got built, and I learned a lot. Ted Tyler was the general contractor. He was a very good man, and I was out every day watching what was going on, learning a lot. And as I say, I lived here for a few months, and then I went off to in the Army for a while.
But you built this for your parents?
Yes, for my parents, and the requirements were very simple. They didn't need a lot of bedrooms or big bedrooms. They wanted, the main emphasis was living, dining, kitchen, family space for entertaining in large groups related to the pool, and that's where we put the space. It's only 1,800 square feet.
Yeah, that's a big 1,800 square feet.
Yeah,
and there's not a bad view. There's not a bad sight line in this house. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was published in the LA Times Home Magazine, and it was photographed by Leland Lee, who was a protege of Julius Shulman, and he did some good shots, and I have a copy around here somewhere. But it's my wife and my mother were out there, and you know, he always got people. Julius did. He always got people in the photograph, and of course Leland did too. And Leland later photographed. I built a house for my own family in Sierra Madre, and he also did that one for me. And in those days, we couldn't afford as architects to really pay for the photography for these things. So the deal was you'd talk to Dan McMasters or Barbara Lennox at the LA Times, and they'd say yay or nay, and they would pop for it.
So they would send like it would be like an LA Times or an assignment photographer to come out and shoot.
Well, but yeah, except that we wanted to use either Julius or his proteges, right. and they were doing and that's the Times loved that. I mean, Julius and the LA Times Home Magazine did more for our business than anything else.
Wow, I bet.
So it worked to everybody's benefit on that.
Boy. And so we did, one of my questions was, you know, who's the client and how did you get this commission? And it's just interesting that you're folks and you're just a young guy finding your way.
Yeah.
That's great.
But wonderful learning experience.
Boy. Now, are you designing new structures now? Or?
Well, actually, I would say for the past 5 or so years, it's been more remodels because, well, first of all, in this area in Pasadena and so on, you don't have a lot of empty lots, and you basically have to tear something down. Now, we've done a number of those where we've torn the houses down to get a lot, but there's not a lot of vacant space. So I would say in the last 5 years, it's been more restorations, yeah, the last, let's see, we won AI Design Awards in 2002 from the Pasadena chapter, and we had 2 awards. One was for the house in Pasadena, the Mosley residence overlooking the Rose Bowl, and then the other one, on the same time, was for a 1960s Chun residence restoration renovation.
Was Chun in Los Feliz?
Yeah, that was in Los Feliz.
Los Feliz, yeah.
And that was a challenging project. We had the site was all filled to ground, and he wanted to expand, and he wanted a pool in the backyard, a lap pool, 40-footer for the spa. We put friction piles down 30 feet into the ground with a 5-foot side yard access for the driller and all that stuff, and a lot of interior work. He was a interior decorator, so he had a good sense of what needed, what furnishings and fabrics and things like that. So we worked very well together, and that won an AI Design Award at the same time. Right. The new Mosley residence won, and that was kind of the start of me getting more into the restoration aspect. I've done not only buff enhancement houses, buff straw enhancement houses, but I do others. I mean, it's not locked into that architectural firm. Right. I do for a number of other projects.
Right. Well, there's people can derive some economy by working with you as an architect and as a general contractor. So you're not sort of handing off your plans to a general who's going to see the job through. Right. So you do all of those.
Yeah. It's well, in the old days, it was unethical. Strangely enough, the AI said it's unethical to be a contractor, which is very strange because now it's completely reversed. I mean, they want you to be involved in the building aspect. So Buff and Hensman got around that by saying, well, we're agents for the owner-builder. But basically, it boiled down to doing all the functions of a general, right. And scheduling and getting the bids in advance and then supervising the construction and so on. But, you know, it avoided that stigma. But, you know, now the AI is obviously, we feel that architects are more qualified than anybody to manage construction. And I would say maybe 75–80% of the work that we've done we've ended up construction management on it, with the agent for the owner-builder. And it works very well because, number one, we charge less than a general contractor, generally speaking. I mean, they would probably get like 20%, and our fee's less than that. The advantage for the owner is money savings, but we drew it so there's no question about how does the detail work. You don't have to have a commerce, you don't have to stop for a change order and all that business. We deal with it, talk to the owner, it's going to cost you X dollars, and we do it or we don't do it. So it's a win-win. It's an income stream for us as a firm, and the clients get a better job for less money. So
that sounds perfect. I mean, there's continuity from start to finish. It's not half a dozen people that are sort of running around without a quarterback.
Exactly.
It's one person that's ultimately responsible, and you get the job done.
Yeah. To me, that's the satisfying thing in what we do. What this firm does is you can start with, you know, a blank sheet and an empty lot, and you end up or a remodeled house, and you end up following it through to the end, and that's the satisfaction.